Oundle was founded in 1556 when Sir William Laxton, Lord Mayor of London and Master of the Grocers' Company, changed his will to leave his money and his property in London to the Grocers' Company and required of them that they should run a school in Oundle. In the last 460 years, Oundle has grown from a very local village school into an international and national school of significant proportions. It's the third biggest boarding school in the UK. Its links are far and wide across the world, and it's always valued the fact that it would be an international school as well as a national school.
The first school register, which started in 1626 and had been written in hand ever since. This is the first volume and records the arrival of Daniel Morley, the first pupil in the register. This is the volume from 1848 to 1928 and it records the arrival of the first international pupils, amongst whom was Runchit. Many of these Siamese boys came to the school specifically to study engineering so they could return home to set up the state railway system.
Okay, so a typical day at Oundle would be wake up at around 7:15, get ready, get dressed, go down to breakfast at 7:45.
Community is a really important feature of life at Oundle because we live in boarding house communities as pupils and teachers, and also the school itself, Oundle, which comprises of about 1,200 pupils, is also part of the community of the town.
You know, then tomorrow will be tutorials. So from 2:30 to 4:30 you will be here and your tutors will come and talk about your reports. Anything else from you guys?
Oundle is lucky to have a very distinguished cohort of international pupils. About 11% of our pupils are from overseas, from Nigeria, Hong Kong, Singapore, Malaysia, Russia, Romania, 22 different countries this year. And they bring an incredibly diverse range of attitudes, cultures to the school. So they make this small town of Oundle sort of open up to the whole world. They give us a global perspective.
We leave for lessons at about 8:15 to get there at 8:30, and then we've got 3 lessons and then we've got break.
We consider ourselves to be one of the foremost academic schools in the country, both in terms of what we offer in an exam sense, the setup in our curriculum, the results pupils achieve, the universities pupils attend.
I'm sitting here in what I honestly believe are the best science facilities of any school in the UK and quite probably the world. Yet, I'll tell you, hand on heart, the thing I'm most proud of is our teachers. We have fabulous teachers who inspire generation after generation of Oundelians.
Happy children learn. I think that's the basis of it all. If we keep them happy and confident while they're learning here, then they will produce things that they never thought they had it anywhere near themselves.
Cloisters dates back to the end of the 19th century, so 1883, and that's just a few years before the legendary headmaster Sanderson was appointed headmaster, so in 1892. He remained headmaster until his death in 1922, so a number of the other buildings date back to his time.
We sit here in the Great Hall which was only built because of the generous gifts when Frederick William Sanderson was headmaster.
He then commissioned the chapel as a memory to the fallen in the Great War, and that was completed the same year of his death, and in fact his ashes are buried in the chapel.
Oundle has been very fortunate to develop the school through a huge number of generous benefactions.
One of the most powerful examples would be the school library.
And in the 1950s, it was decided to modernize the library and it moved to the cloisters. And at that point, the library benefited from the generosity of 3 generations of the Cripps family.
It's a unique school in that it's embedded in a town. So we're part of a town and yet we're a school as well. And I think the fact that it marries together so well makes it unusual, unique in that respect.
In break time we usually go to cloisters and meet up with friends, and from meeting up with friends we go out to town to go to break and buy some food, and sometimes we go to Norman's, and there's also Trendles and lots of different options, so you can have whatever you want. After break we go on for another 2 lessons.
Art is completely like a new subject to me after I came to Oundle, because all I did in China before was maths, physics and chemistry or sciences. Art helps me become more open-minded, and also I apply for architecture, so I'm really interested in art.
We're not standing at the front preaching to whole classes, we're seeing each individual pupil, catering to their individual needs and pushing them in the right direction for that pupil.
British methodology is very much about collaborative learning. It's very much about teachers realising they are learners too, teachers realising that pupils ask fantastic, interesting questions.
We have China trip twice a year, Chinese New Year celebration. Whole school would celebrate the occasion.
Language department at Oundle, it's very, very strong. We've got a new building called the Adamson, which is a very nice building. The inside and outside is very nice. So I do German, French, and I do a classics, which is Latin.
I feel that the music needs to be the soul of a school, it needs to be the expression of a school, and we express it with hymn singing, with our music making, of our large orchestras, small ensembles, as soloists. It's all encompassing with the expression.
This is my 5th year in Oundle, and music has definitely developed me, and here you get to play it in so many different ensembles, playing in quintet or quartet. I mean, it's a really different experience to anything else, really.
The chapel is at the centre of the moral and spiritual outlook of the school, and here we educate the heart, we nurture the soul. It's fundamental to what we do at Oundle School.
And then we come back to house for lunch. On Mondays we've got tutor lunch, so we get to bond with different years and learn about each other.
The tutorial system's embedded in everything that we do. We have tutors in every house who belong to the house, and we all meet very often, so they're part of the strong network of support for each child.
Oundle cares well of my son. Good housemaster and tutors make sure he is improving in many ways, not just academics.
You get really nice downtime with your friends and have a chat, just kind of a time to have a rest.
I really enjoy boarding house because I think it's the best way to get involved in, to integrate with the local students. Everyone here, including my teachers and my friends, are very nice and patient, and I'm pretty sure they will help you make a transition from who you used to be to who you are now.
Sport is a very important physical release, And also sport teaches them the value to win and the values of losing and also the benefits of working as a team.
Dance, badminton, squash, a whole range of things. We hope we end the pupils with a sport for life, so they find something that they play here and then they continue to play for the rest of their life.
I was new here this year and everyone else had made friends, and during rugby I felt it was a good way to make friends as well as being embarrassed at.
And then after lunch on Mondays we've got another 3 lessons, but on Tuesdays we go to games, on Wednesdays we've got CCF and things like that.
The Combined Cadet Force gives cadets a unique opportunity to develop qualities, for example, leadership, taking on a sense of responsibility and personal development.
Pupils at Oundle are very much encouraged to be involved with the local community. It's very much a way of the town and the school mixing and people getting to know each other.
7, 8. Corner, corner, hip, hip. Up, push down.
After school or after sports, we usually have time for afternoon tea, where we have different kinds of foods every day, which is really nice. The kitchen does it very well.
The extracurricular here is very, very rich, very varied, and it also gives them a chance to try and explore activities and skills that they might actually be good at.
I think drama provision is central to the ethos of the school. It represents a chance for imaginative, creative expression.
At the beginning of Oundle, I didn't know what kind of extracurriculars I want to do, so there's this thing, I think it's called the Societies Fair and the Vols Fair as well. So there they display all the kinds of vols that Oundle offers.
Dance has become much more high profile this year because more lessons have been introduced into the timetable.
And then during prep time it's from 7:30 to 9. So during that time you'll have prep that was set to you on the day, which the teachers give you, and you finish that.
Oundelians are busy. They use their time effectively, they work hard, they play hard. They benefit from being in a lovely environment, but there is a pace and purpose about their life that I think is truly distinctive.
There's a real depth of legacy that ensures that pupils, even if they've passed through the school 50 or 60 years ago, this is the point where they say, here's where it started. And what they want to do is they want to come back and they want to create a part of their own history back here at Oundle.
If I was to ever be homesick, it'd be because I'm away from my family, away from my friends, from my old school and things like that. But then I have to think again why I'm here, and I've created such great friends here.
Completely different from Hong Kong. After you settle in, then it's all well and good.
Of course I miss home, but I also wouldn't want to leave Oundle because Oundle's such a great place to be.